God, he's actually kissing her. Right in front of Sophia. I can't believe it. I can't believe she's smiling. Look at his face. He looks absolutely terrified. This is unbelievable. I have to record this.
The moment he kissed his mistress on stage, Sophia smiled. Not because she was weak, not because she was broken, but because she already knew something he didn't. And in less than 10 minutes, his entire empire would collapse in front of everyone watching. Now listen carefully. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you ignored every red flag just to keep them in your life? If you have, then this story will hit differently. And before we continue, tell me something in the comments. Where are you watching from right now? Which city? Which country? Because stories like this connect people from all over the world. And trust me, what happened to Sophia shocked millions. This is Broken Then Powerful, where pain turns into power. Sophia Carter sat in the front row wearing a black dress so elegant, it almost looked dangerous. Her husband, Daniel Carter, stood proudly on stage under golden lights, accepting the Businessman of the Year award in front of thousands of people. Celebrities, billionaires, cameras everywhere. And standing beside him was another woman, young, beautiful, smiling proudly like she already owned his heart. The audience thought she was part of his company, but Sophia knew the truth. That woman was his mistress. And then it happened. Daniel pulled the woman closer, looked directly toward the crowd, and kissed her. A slow kiss, an intentional kiss, the kind designed to humiliate. The ballroom instantly exploded with whispers. Phones lifted into the air. People turned toward Sophia, waiting for tears, waiting for anger, waiting for the billionaire's wife to finally break in public. But Sophia didn't move. She simply crossed her legs, took a slow sip of water, and smiled. Because what nobody knew was that Daniel Carter had just destroyed himself. You know what hurts the most? Not betrayal, not lies. It's giving your loyalty to someone who slowly starts treating your love like weakness. And maybe someone watching this right now understands that pain completely. Maybe you stayed too long too. Maybe you kept forgiving someone, hoping they would become the person they used to be. That was Sophia's mistake too. 10 years earlier, Sophia wasn't rich. She was a hardworking architecture student with tired eyes and impossible dreams. She met Daniel when he was still nobody. A broke salesman with ambition bigger than his future. Back then, he used to hold her hand tightly and whisper, "One day, I'll give you the world." And for a while, she believed him. They built everything together. Sophia designed his first office for free. She stayed awake helping him prepare presentations. She sold her mother's jewelry to help him pay company debt. When Daniel wanted to quit, Sophia became his strength. When investors laughed at him, she stood beside him. And slowly, painfully, they built an empire. But success reveals character, and money exposed Daniel completely. The richer he became, the colder he became. First came the late nights, then the secret phone calls, then the disrespect disguised as jokes. "You're too emotional. You wouldn't understand business. You should be grateful for this life." Sophia stayed silent, not because she was weak, but because she still remembered the man he used to be. That was her biggest mistake. She kept loving a version of him that no longer existed. Years passed. Daniel became famous online. Magazine covers, luxury parties, private jets, interviews watched by millions. And every time Sophia tried to talk to him, he made her feel smaller. One night during a private dinner with investors, Daniel laughed and said, "My wife still thinks loyalty matters in business." Everyone laughed. Even Sophia forced a smile. But inside, something broke. That night, Sophia stood alone in their giant mansion staring into the mirror. No makeup, no diamonds, no fake smile, just pain. And suddenly, she realized something terrifying. She had spent years helping a man become powerful, while slowly disappearing herself. That was the night everything changed. Not loudly, not dramatically. Quietly, dangerously quietly. Sophia stopped begging for attention. stopped asking where he was, stopped crying in front of him, and Daniel loved it. He thought she had finally accepted her place. But they didn't know. Silence can be preparation, and remember this carefully. She stayed silent, but not weak. Sometimes your quiet season is where your real power is being built. While Daniel was busy showing off his new life online, Sophia was rebuilding hers in secret. See, Daniel may have been the face of the company, but Sophia had always been the foundation behind it. What nobody knew was that years ago, Daniel signed several legal documents without even reading them properly. Because back then, he trusted Sophia completely. Big mistake. Sophia quietly returned to architecture, quietly met with old investors, quietly rebuilt connections, quietly bought shares through private partnerships. And within 2 years, the woman Daniel ignored became more powerful than he could ever imagine. But Sophia said nothing. She stayed elegant, calm, invisible. Because real power doesn't scream, it waits. Then came the award night, the night Daniel decided to publicly humiliate her forever. He thought kissing his mistress on stage would prove he was untouchable. Instead, it became the beginning of his destruction. After the kiss, Daniel grabbed the microphone confidently. "I want to thank someone special tonight," he said while holding the young woman's hand. The audience leaned forward. "This woman reminded me what happiness feels like again." The room gasped. Cameras immediately cut toward Sophia. Still calm, still smiling. Daniel smirked when he saw her expression. He thought he had won, but then Sophia stood up slowly, gracefully, and suddenly, the entire ballroom became silent. Even Daniel looked confused. Sophia walked toward the stage in heels that echoed through the room like warning shots. Step, step, step. And honestly, this became the moment people replayed online millions of times later, because nobody expected what happened next. When Sophia reached the stage, she gently took the microphone from Daniel's hand and smiled softly. "You're right, Daniel," she said calmly. "This really isn't the time." Pause. "It's the ending." The room froze. Daniel's face changed instantly. For the first time in years, he looked afraid. Sophia slowly turned toward the audience. "I spent 10 years building a company beside my husband," she said calmly. "I believed loyalty, sacrifice, and love still meant something." Her eyes moved toward Daniel. "But sometimes, the person you save from drowning becomes the same person who tries to push your head underwater." Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then Sophia reached into her purse and pulled out a folder. "And since tonight is apparently about honesty," she continued, "I should probably announce that as of this morning." Pause. "I officially became majority owner of Carter Global." The room exploded. Daniel's face turned completely pale. "What?" he whispered. Sophia looked directly into his eyes. "You were too distracted to notice," she said quietly. The mistress slowly stepped away from Daniel. Smart decision. Then suddenly, 3 board members stood up and applauded Sophia. One by one, more people joined them, and in that moment, Daniel finally understood something devastating. Respect cannot be bought, and the woman he ignored for years was the real reason he ever became successful. Daniel tried speaking again, but nobody cared anymore, because power looks different when it's real, and Sophia never needed to scream to prove hers. She looked at the audience one final time and said something nobody there would ever forget. Never confuse silence with weakness. Some people stay quiet because they're healing, and others stay quiet because they're preparing. That line went viral the next morning. Millions of views, millions of comments, because deep down, people recognized truth when they heard it. A few months later, Daniel lost almost everything. Investors walked away. Interviews stopped. His reputation collapsed. And the mistress? She disappeared too. Funny how fake love disappears when the money and power disappear. But Sophia, she became unstoppable. Not because she wanted revenge, because she finally remembered her worth. She rebuilt the company with integrity. Employees respected her. Women connected deeply with her story. And slowly, the pain that almost destroyed her became the thing that transformed her. And maybe that's why this story matters so much. Because some of you watching right now are in your silent phase. People are underestimating you, ignoring you, disrespecting you. But never forget this. Some storms don't come to destroy you. They come to reveal who you really are. And sometimes, the people who break your heart accidentally create the strongest version of you. So before this video ends, tell me honestly in the comments. If you were Sophia, what would you have done differently? And if this story touched you even a little, don't forget to subscribe to Broken, then Powerful for more emotional stories like this. Because one day, the pain you survived may become the reason someone else refuses to give up.